Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Jeremy here from Cardium, and I'm going to show you how you can use the 60-watt CloudRay MOPA laser engraver to generate colored markings on stainless steel, just like you see here. Using this laser engraver, you can achieve many different colors on some different cleanroom safe materials, including stainless steel, anodized with blacks to whites, and black Delrin as well. I've created a few different templates. This is the one here for steel. But if you go into our network drive and you go to CloudRay laser engraving /templates, you can see we have the different materials here. So we'll just open up the one for steel. Here is our steel colors. So you can see that all of the squares here correspond to the different colors that they're gonna output. We'll just take this test steel. We'll delete everything we don't wanna see. And then we're just left with this. We're gonna print off a Cardium logo and some text. So if you wanna make some shapes, you can come over to the left side, you can click on the square, you can do circles, you can also do text. This one's really helpful. For text, I recommend doing black, which you'll have to defocus the lens for. Test, 1, 2, 3. We'll drag it around. You can also resize things using the width and the height. As well, you can center things using this. And move it to the page center, so that'll be centered on the laser. So now we're gonna go over to our workspace. We're gonna open the door, put it flat down on the work plate. If it's a thinner material, you can use these weights to hold it down and stop it from warping, but this material should be fine. Then you're gonna reach around over to the back. This is a focus stick. It's dialed to exactly 323 millimeters, the focal length of our lens. We're gonna use this scroll wheel up here now. Bring it up a little bit. We're gonna slide our focus stick in here, and we're gonna hold it parallel to the lens surface. And then we're gonna slowly creep this down until we can just barely wiggle that out a little bit, until we feel some slight pressure. That's when we know we're at the distance. We're also gonna come over into Lightburn, hit frame here, look inside of our workspace. It's gonna add a little red laser frame to line our part like this. Okay. Now let's close up the enclosure and we're gonna hit start. Our laser is getting to marking. So yeah, we will come back when that is done, about 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Here's how our laser engraving turned out. You can see the blue and the red turned out pretty nice. The laser marking at the top edge is a bit cooler than the bottom. So yeah, be mindful of that. You might wanna use bigger, thicker markings that'll make the effect less noticeable. All right, so our color turned out great. Now, what if you want to mark some black? Let me show you how you do that. So we'll put our workpiece back inside, and then we're gonna come over here. We're gonna grab this 6.35, AKA 1/4 inch defocus block. Place that on top of our workpiece. Same focus stick, move the laser up again. So this defocuses the lens by 6.35 millimeters. Increase our spot diameter. We're gonna come over to Lightburn now. Turn our red and blue layers off in the output, and we'll turn our black on. So now just our black part is going to mark. So we have our text there. We're gonna hit frame, comes over here. So now our text is gonna show up in this box here. We're gonna close the door so we don't go blind, and let's hit start. And there we have it. We'll come back when that's done. Halfway done. So our black marking is done. Here we have this amazing, beautiful, matte black finish that you can see from all angles, no matter how reflective. That's great. Okay, so we have defined parameters for steel, anodized aluminum, and black Delrin. But what if we have a mystery material? This right here is peak. And let's say we want to characterize this material and see how it responds to laser engraving. Find some parameters that'll produce a visible mark on it. Here's how we can do that. Go into laser tools, material test. And so this is going to generate a grid. This is what it's going to look like if we preview. So in my knowledge transfer report stored here, I recommended these settings for characterizing material. For a plastic, I'd actually recommend going a little bit faster because they're prone to melting and catching fire. I don't know if peak will do that. Focus the lens just the same way. Beautiful. Start. Laser's gonna begin engraving. So wow, look at that text. Peak actually marks really well. I need to add this to the report. So especially for plastics, just make sure that you have the fume extractor on So you turn it on by hitting the power button, and you can up the speed like that. That's gonna extract the fumes better, because we are indoors. But wow, look at that beautiful mark on peak. That is insanely good. It is smoking a little. Oh, and especially at higher speeds, and yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna turn it off after this one. That looks definitely a little dangerous. Wow, so here's a great mark that we got on peak. I'm gonna save these text settings, but you can see at higher powers it was literally catching on fire. So let's not try that. I'm gonna restrict the power settings again. Okay, so I restricted the power down to 20% speed at the same settings. These are the text settings that I had for peak that generated a really beautiful text. My cameraman Mark pointed out to me that peak is very expensive for a big block like this. A smaller scrap block, thinner sheet stock. So thinner block first, focus it again. So we're doing it again on the thinner block now. Look at that beautiful mark. It is smoking a little bit, carburizing, that would make sense. So here are the results of the power speed test. High power and low speed, we have a high energy density. We have our plastic melting, and I wanted to aim for something sort of in this range. So I went for 20% power and higher speed. Speed below 1,000 is gonna melt the material. So I'd say stay up in this regime around here. We'll add that to our material selection. And boom, I just whipped up a little test card to summarize the results of our testing on peak, and then I cleaned it up on the mill to make it square. So now we can add this to our roster of materials that we have color parameters for. So yeah, that should cover most of the basics of how you use our CloudRay MOPA laser engraver alongside Lightburn and how we test different materials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.